Okay, so let's take a look at your model here. So it looks like, let me see, the garage looks good. It looks like your walls are lined up, you have your exterior wall in there, that part looks good. What I'm having trouble with is over here. So something has happened where these walls are way up in the air, and I don't know if you intended them to be that far in the air. I'm not really sure why they're that far up. If you don't want them to be that high, just use the base constraints and the top constraints to adjust them. So it's possible that I think the base constraint needs to be the same here, which is top of footing, and it's possible that your top constraint wants to be changed. So if I move this to TO footing, oops, I guess maybe it's not TO footing. Oh, and then you have the base offset 8 feet. I see what you did there. So actually what you should probably do is this. Your walls are actually starting at, it's hard to read these levels. It looks like they're starting at something called top of foundation wall. So I would think that if you go back to 3D that this might want to be top of foundation wall. There we go. And then maybe your top constraint wants to change. Maybe it's not supposed to be quite as high there, I'm not positive. But it just appears that you need to change those top and bottom constraints. Otherwise, your foundation looks good. It looks like it's in alignment. The other thing I would recommend is if you don't need some of these views over here, you can go ahead and delete them so that it's a little less confusing for you. Also, if you take a look back at the quiz, I told you you didn't need all these levels. They're a little bit confusing, like BO, floor framing. You're not even really using that level. You're just using levels called floor plan, second floor, this top of footing, etc. So we went through the levels in the quiz, so you probably only needed to create those levels that you saw in the quiz. If you're using these to constrain the top and bottom of your walls, leave them. But if they're just here and they're not constraining anything, then there's no point in keeping that, okay, if nothing was attached to that. I don't know if it was, so I'll put it back. So really only keep the levels that you need to be able to build the structure properly. So it's hard for me to give you a lot more feedback because there's not a ton to look at here. And I'm not sure which plan I'm supposed to be looking at in order to see like the first floor. You definitely don't need first floor electrical or framing, so you can delete those. I'm not really sure which one shows the interior walls. I guess maybe it's this one. So you have a lot of work still to do on the interior walls as well.